we have Dr. S. Venkataramanaiah, sir, a distinguished professor of operations management at IIM Lucknow, as the speaker for this session. Namaste, sir. Sir has 32 years of experience in teaching and research across India, Singapore, and USA. With over 130 published research papers, he has authored 2 books, including Managing Social Organizations, focusing on Tirupati Balaji Temple. Sir has designed and led various elective courses and executive development programs, including specialized programs for Mahindra SBI cards and a consulting project on e-procurement for Tirupati Temple. He has led numerous consultancy projects for organizations like Honeywell, Tata Motors, and government agencies, and has trained over 700 MBA students in healthcare management. He is a recipient of prestigious Nelson Mandela Leadership Award in 2020 for healthcare leadership and the Jagatik Ayurvignan Samman Award for health business training. He also earned the Devang Mehta Best Teacher Award and was a Fulbright visiting scholar at Arizona State University. Sir's expertise in operational excellence and his research on service delivery within temple management is bound to offer unique perspectives. A warm welcome to you, sir, and now the session is over to you.
Thank you, ma'am, for a very elaborate introduction and kind words. And thank you so much. And I sincerely thank everyone. And I wanted to share my screen.
Yes, sir. You can, sir.
But select the tab to share.
Sir, there is a kind of arrow mark.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm able to go through the kind of plug and play.
Yeah, because since Zoho, many people are not using Chrome.
Correct. In fact, the first time I'm hearing Zoho is also into this service. Very good. Yeah. So is my slide visible?
Yes, sir. It is, sir.
And launch. Yes. So hope, is it visible? My slide is visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think I have to move on to the slide. Yes. So I'll just try to spend about half an hour to 40 minutes for sharing what I'm planning to do. Then followed by 10-15 minutes discussion or question and answers, so that we'll end up the session on time. So though we are late by 5 minutes, but it's still okay. Right. So as the topic has been already mentioned, that it is the management practices followed at one of the world's largest temples. Just give me half a minute. I mean, I'm sitting in a hotel, so there is some visitor. I'll just open the door and come. I'm sorry for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So the book title is Managing Social Organizations. Managing social organizations. And the context is Tirupati Balaji Temple. And we have coined this word very carefully. And it took a lot of time for us to arrive at the final title of the book. This is unique in many sense that there is a book written by like, management school or academic professionals on this part. So that is where the uniqueness of this, and I'll share a few motivations of this. And let me move on to the next slide. That is, though you have mentioned about my profile, I'm also, selfish, and I also want to say a few things what is not there. And most of the things that you have mentioned in the introduction is already been done. And I just want to say about my education and career, and of course what I've been doing and what made me to look into that, etc. So basically, my career started with Gindi Engineering College, Chennai, Anna University in way back 92. Then followed by, I left that organization and then went to Singapore and then came back. In Singapore, I worked for some time with Honeywell and then followed by Nanyang Business School, the Singapore MIT Alliance program as a postdoctoral fellow, etc. Then came back to IIT Madras. Across the road, I have to go to Singapore to come back to other side of the road. That is the one great message, I can tell you. It's a very long U-turn. And then I joined IIM Indore, and I also wanted to share with some of you, because you're all interested in a lot of things. There is a 5-year integrated program at IIM Indore. That was also contribution by my ex-boss, Professor Ravichandran, and myself. And the same combination authors has written this book also subsequently after a long time. And I'm also lean certified in healthcare, and some of the awards, etc., you can see. And there is also another book that we have adopted on operations and supply chain management, one of the oldest books of the field, Russell and Taylor. Indian adaptation has been done by me along with those two oldest authors. And then another guy is my own student. And there are a few book chapters that I have written in some of the books on both healthcare and non-healthcare, etc. I also want to share with you, because there may be a lot of teachers in the group. That is the reason why I want to share. And many of my good students are those who are not necessarily good in the terms of academic rigor, etc., but those who are interested to work with me. I made them as the co-authors of even a small paper. If I write, I'll make them as the co-author. So that's my normal practice, and including my children also my co-authors. That is one thing that I want to share. And another thing that you could see on the top of the slide, that is the slide is okay, or should I go to the presentation mode?
It is fine, sir. You can.
Yeah. Now I have gone to the presentation mode, and I'm also a half marathon runner for last 11-12 years, and also 3/4 marathon also completed. And I want to complete a full marathon possibly this year or next year. That's my ambition. I mean, that's my goal. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that. And I was also an NCC officer. And why I'm telling this? Because academic profession, a lot of things we can do. That is the one point. And my current organization is, as you could see, I have changed a lot of organizations within the country and outside the country, and then coming back. These kind of changes are good, but all these changes comes with a huge cost. Let me tell you that, particularly for those who are in the about to, let us say, there is a chance to change your profession or other organization, etc. But that comes with a huge cost. That is the point I want to highlight based on my journey. Is that okay? Does it make sense? Some response?
Anyone? Can leave their response in the Q&A box.
Yeah, right. I understand. Now they cannot talk.
Yeah, they cannot talk. We have to allow them to talk.
Sure. I think I am in the slide window, so I will not be able to see that. To see that, I have to go back. It doesn't make sense. That's okay. Now, coming to Tirupati Balaji Temple. Is there anyone who is not aware of Tirupati Balaji Temple? Is there anyone who is not aware? Let me see. And let me see the response here. Is there anyone who is not aware of Tirupati Balaji Temple? Anyone? Okay. So there is a few people who do not know. We do not know. Okay. In minute details, we do not know. No. What I mean to say that, is there anyone who has, let me ask, is there anyone who has not visited Tirupati Balaji Temple in the group? Not visited. That's fine. That is, I will not get into that. At one point in time, I thought of, should I talk on this or not? But then I thought, let me go ahead with that. That's okay. The recent news, I don't even say controversy or whatever it is. Recent news on Tirupati Balaji Temple Laddu, we will keep that aside. Right. Otherwise, is there anyone who has visited the temple in the last 6 months? I just want them to see. Okay. Veerapan, Veena, Padmini. Okay, I think There are few people not yet visited. Okay, good. That is possible. That's possible. Okay, right. So just to get an idea if there is anyone who is not visited the temple and what is their thing. So since the audio is not permitted here, so I don't want to get into the dialogue mode, but still we can see. Can someone tell me how long they waited when they visited the latest? Those who have visited 6 months back, how much time we waited for the darshan? Just some numbers. Can someone respond? Those who visited in the last 1 year? Those who visited in the last 1 year, how much time it took for them to complete the darshan? Entry to darshan queue and exit after darshan of Lord Balaji. Anyone? Some response.
Sir, they have responded, sir. It is 5 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours, 3 hours.
Oh, I'm seeing that Q&A box. Okay.
Yeah, I think you have to scroll it down, sir.
In the chat box, right?
No, in the Q&A box, they have they are leaving the response. It is in the Q&A box.
Scroll on the top. Can we get to PPT? I think on the reverse. Okay, good. Some good numbers have come up, right? Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Great indeed to have the children too as co-authors. Okay, right. And 5 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours, 3 hours, 11 hours. My God. In 2019, 48 hours, 8 hours. Very good. So, Dr. Satvik, I would say that this would have been the best experience. Spending 48 hours for want of darshan of Lord Balaji, I think you should get a maximum experience in my language. It is the wait time that you should not discourage to wait in the place where there is a lot of I would say, all sorts of cosmic energy. You name anything that is possible, you can grab that from Tirupati or Tirumala hills. I would say personally, I don't want to rush when I go to Tirupati temple or even for any other temple. I don't want to rush. But what is the painful part is the way you are made to wait was maybe the kind of thing that we should make as the administrators, that or whoever is the administrator, they should make the waiting more pleasant. So that is one aspect. We will see that as we go along. All right. Good to know. Yes. So as you are aware that the latest information as for July 23, 2023, the Balaji temple has deposits of more than 11 tons of gold and cash deposits worth 17,000 crores in banks. It's only a media news, but if you look at the real numbers may be much larger, and we have also listed that numbers, etc., in our book that we have mentioned. That is all correct, absolute correct numbers that we have mentioned in our book also. But unfortunately, that book is not in circulation now, or rather not in sale due to some technical reasons. It may come very soon, right? Okay, so this is what I'm going to cover in next 30 plus minutes. What is the motivation for us, and what is the table of content, what you can expect in this book, and what is the pilgrim's value chain, and luggage handling system is one such service, and managing the darshan services, other support services, some administrative reforms, and finally some insights and conclusions. Can anybody observe what is the number of items in the outline? It is 7. I always like this 777. And there are, I don't want to spend too much time on this significance of this number 7, but I always follow number 7. And with God's grace, or whatever you can say, my date of birth is also falls on 7th, right? So coming to the motivation, and in one of the days, I generally read newspaper as regularly as possible, unless I don't have the access to physical newspaper. Generally, I don't prefer e-newspaper. One day, such news was on Tirupati temple, like what you have seen today. There are too much of news on Tirupati temple, and this news happened to be completely different. And when the president of that time, when the former president of India, when Ramnath Kovind ji, when he visited, these temple authorities have made a presentation to the chief guest of the temple. I mean, a guest of the temple. When you visit Tirupati temple, you are a guest at Lord's place. You are a guest at God's place. That is the significance. So, and in fact, even God is not spared from the customer feedback, or whatever you can call it as. When you visit your friend, you may hesitate to say what are the deficiencies of service and so on and so forth. But when you visit the Tirupati Balaji temple, or rather for that matter, any temple, people, as you are a devotee or you are a critic, that is the another thing that we can think. We don't spare that this could have been better, and so on and so forth. So people give their comments, or the comments are welcome by the temple. That is one of the best practices, I can say. Even for the God.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. The slide, it is only second slide is shown, sir. With the Tirupati picture. So it's not moving. I think it is a third slide of yours. Yeah, right. Now it is not.
Now slide number 5 is there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me go back to this slide. Is this slide visible now? Tirupati Balaji temple, at least we are digital the photo.
Yes,
we can take,
yes,
can
sir.
take the blessing of Lord Balaji from here digitally. May God bless all of us. Yes. Is that okay?
Yeah, it is in the third one now, sir.
Yeah. The third slide. Fine?
Yeah.
I'm going to share these slides with the organizers, and we can share it with the people, but you can use it in the best possible way that you want. So anybody who writes a book, it's for the dissemination of knowledge and sharing of knowledge with everybody. So we don't mind to share these details also. And some of the slides, some of these things are also available on YouTube videos. We launched this book at multiple places, and there was a comments, and we did a very lavish launch of this book at multiple places, including Chennai, IIM Ahmedabad, some other places like Hyderabad, and Tirupati Balaji Temple, Tirumala itself. Right. So this is the outline of my presentation, 7 items. Is that visible, slide number 4?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So the motivation slide now, number 5. So the motivation for us was the president's earlier former president, when he made a comment about, after hearing this or listening to the temple authorities making a presentation to the VIP, he said, "You are doing great thing, but where is the document for anybody to follow?" This is the issue with every good organization or not so good organization in many places, including India. Though it is one of the richest temples and a very old temples of this country, or rather the world, I would say. I don't know the origin or etc. Whatever we say, these are all not necessarily 100% true, because we don't know. We can only estimate. Even science can be wrong to some extent. What is the age of this temple? Nobody knows exact age. So that's what I mean. So when this former president mentioned to the temple authorities that you are doing great, but where is the document mentioning about these practices? That took us some attention of us. And then we wrote a small proposal, just 1 page, not even one full page, 1 page proposal to Tirupati temple. They were kind enough to consider that, and internally they have taken care, and then they approved. And it is an approved project of the Tirupati temple. It's not written by me and my co-author just like that. It is the constituted study. It is constituted by the temple with all the support and data and all that stuff. And they are financially also supported, but we have not charged any professional fee for that. Let me also tell that. And whatever the expenses that are incurred, it has all been covered by the or supported by the temple. Right. So that was the motivation, and we did that. As you are all aware, this is one of the richest temples in the world, and you could see 3 to 4 crores. I think now it has crossed even 5 crores a day, or I would say even that is only Undi. Other everything put together, if you see, it is crossed 10 to 12 or close to 15 crores a day, all sorts of revenues, etc. If you put together everything, it will be nearly 12 to 15 crores and a budget of 4,500 crores annual budget. From that, you can understand. And visited by more than 1 lakh pilgrims every day. Now is Brahmotsava's time, it was just started. And we are really gifted today to have this session. At the same time, this Brahmotsavas, Tirupati temple Brahmotsavas just started at Tirumala temple with the Dwajarohan of Lord Balaji. I'm really, I don't know, I'm becoming really different. I'm sorry to say. So it's giving me a different feeling altogether while talking to all of you about this experience of this book, and when they're very such a auspicious day. I must sincerely thank Dr. Divya, right? Divya, right? One moment.
Sir,
Sorry,
Dr. Bhagya, we had consulted you.
Dr. Bhagya. Dr. Bhagya is now Navaratri lecture series. So nice, so nice. I'm so glad, Dr. Bhagya ji, you have given me truly very, very inspirational session, and also very auspicious day. Navaratras and also Brahmotsavas of Tirupati temple is also happening, and I am able to share this news with this experience of this book, whatever we have written. I think this is the best gift I have ever felt. I am sincerely thank you, Dr. Bhavyaji, and the entire team of your Bharatiya Institute of Bharatiya Management Institute. Thank you so much. And 1,000+ years of legacy. You might have seen in the newspapers there are 3 lakh laddus are made. Honestly speaking, it is not 3 lakhs. It is more than 5 lakhs or close to 5 lakhs. So 5 lakh plus. And the water consumed per a day is 43 lakh gallons of water a day. And no other organization in the country I could see in single location where this much volume of water alone, managing this water treatment, water testing. Let me tell you, the treated water is tested multiple times before it is sent to the plants across the Tirumala gardens, Tirumala hills and gardens spread across Tirumala hills. How many of us know that? Okay, right. 7,000 plus are almost now close to 9,000 rooms are available, and nearly about 50,000+ people can be accommodated on Tirumala alone. And more than these numbers are at least 2-3 years old, but today the numbers are at least you can add 5 to 7% more. So the free meal service has crossed 2.5 lakh servings a day. And APSRTC transports nearly 40,000+ people every day and still running in losses. Andhra Pradesh Road Transport Corporation buses are run sometimes with a single passenger, single. Recently, I have gone by bus as only one person, driver and myself, only 2 people. It's like a charter trip for me. Of course, the time was 3:30 a.m. Early morning, 3:30 a.m. The entire bus, I was the only person with a driver come conductor. Right. Even for that, the bus has been run. And now electrical buses, EV vehicle buses, AC bus, all those things are also now being started. You name anything, any innovation, anything that they want to do, this has become a wonderful place for doing that. Right. And there is also luggage handling system, 50,000+, nearly now is almost 1 lakh bags have been handled. And the transport center now almost even 50,000 people have crossed. And each can earn easily 1 crore rupee per a day. For Balaji temple, the revenue from human air that is being offered by the devotees alone will constitute about 1 crore a day. And all these things are happening every day. Can you show me any organization where this kind of large scale operations? A single location. There may be multiple national companies, multinational companies or national companies, etc., which may be happening at multiple places, which may be possible, but at the same location. And all these things are managed by non-managers, non-CEOs, non-MBAs, non-engineers, etc., etc. There may be some engineers. There are some engineers, no doubt, but the engineers, what they do is different from managing this crowd. These are all managed with the lowest qualified people, or the highest qualified person in the entire country, entire gamut of activities is the senior most IAS officer, supported by a few junior or middle level 2-3 IAS officers and IPS officer, including IFS officer. So this is what is the context, my dear friend. How many of us know? How many of us have attempted to know these things and then try to include these learnings for us in the classroom? That was our motivation, right? Right. So it is the largest floating, Tirupati or Tirumala is the largest floating city with associated administrative challenges. Do you all agree? And multiple stakeholders. You don't even know who are all the stakeholders. Media is the stakeholder. The international organizations are the stakeholder. Everybody is a stakeholder, directly or indirectly. Direct stakeholders itself is so huge. Managing them and meeting their goal, or rather their objectives or their expectations, is also very important thing. And by and large, temple management is not a part of professional management. I hope some of you might have seen the recently released news item or rather program by Wellinger Institute on temple management, 6-month PG diploma or PGP in temple management. I don't know how come they can call it as a 6-month program as a PGP in temple management. That's what I leave it to them. I leave it to you. And what are the insights based on this administration that we can draw? And that is one of the things. And documentation of large-scale administrative activities. And it can become a useful resource for similar organizations, including academic institutions and other practitioners. Does it make sense? Right. So this is the content of the book. I thought of putting this also into the book, but we removed this, but we put it into normal this thing. 7 parts, as I shared with you. The book has 7 parts. The part 1 is the context and what is the core of that. The next is the divine experience. Then is support services, management services, social initiatives, management perspectives, and finally reflections. This is how we have scheduled or rather organized our the content of the book. If you look at this book, you will find these things, and the other titles shows the subtitles of each chapter or the part. So since everybody knows where is the Tirupati temple and its location, generally now it is in the divided Andhra, comes under Tirupati district today. Earlier it was in Chittoor district. Now it is called Tirupati Balaji district or Tirupati district. Right. So this is the temple layout. I just want to convey that how big is this temple and how secured the safety and security was one of the most important things in this temple. As you have seen, this height of these temple walls and all been done over a period of time. It's not done at the beginning. Over a period of time to safeguard these things, the temple safety and security in terms of construction has improved over the years. And what you could see is this inside. And outside the temple also you could see Varahaswamy temple and Pushkarini and so on and so forth. This Pushkarini capacity itself is one of the largest in the world, I would say, man-made kind of setup. Right. So this is what is the pilgrim's value chain. Are you able to see the slide, please? Slide number 10, pilgrim's value chain. Dr. Bhagyaji?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. So there is a base station. That's what we call Tirupati. There are people who reach us in different modes by road, rail, train, air. And there are people who come by walk hundreds of kilometers. How many of you are aware of that? Particularly from Karnataka, and several other parts of the country, including Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra, and now Telangana. There are pilgrims who walk hundreds of kilometers, not few kilometers, hundreds of kilometers. They walk and reach Tirupati, and then from there to Tirumala. We only know who would walk from Tirupati to Tirumala hill stretch, but there are people who walk even outside, several remote places to Tirupati, and then from Tirupati to Tirumala also. Right. So there are facilities at the base and as well as facilities at the Tirumala. So that's what we have shown, Tirupati and Tirumala. There are a lot of services. Unlike any other temple, here, there are a lot of other services that have been provided only for pilgrims. For non-pilgrims, there are many other activities that is being provided, including education, hospitals, and many other social activities. That's why we named this book as the social organization. So the for pilgrims at temple is very complex due to number of services that is offered. Do you agree? You conduct a one-day marriage function or even a simple birthday function, how complicated it is. Whereas for Lord Balaji is every day, Nitya Kalyanam. That means every day marriage. Lord Balaji celebrates his marriage every day. There are also a few people who come at different times. They say that, if you do not have auspicious time to get married, and they will say that, there is a solution. For every problem, at least there is one solution. That one solution for marriage issue is that you can go to Tirumala temple and conduct a marriage on any day. Because Lord Balaji it is called a Nitya Kalyanam place. So people also can make their own wedding also happen there. Managing various services with a highly variable demand. For example, Annaprasadam. For example, Pushkarini. For example, Tanshuring. Bus service, every service, there is a huge variability in the demand. That is one of the biggest challenges. And safety and security, convenience of pilgrims, health and hygiene. There are, stealing of belongings is normal. Stealing of children, the infants, that also happens. Of course, now the technology has come to the rescue of the people. So this next couple of slides gives you some idea about what is the operations and what is the volume of this. From this slide, what I want to convey, these are the real numbers taken from the source from temple records. This is what is happening. Annual budget today, it is 4,500 crores. This number is 2021 March. Okay. So you name anything, that services are there. And there are CCTV cameras deployed across the Tirumala. Today, it is almost close to 3,000 CCTV cameras have been deployed. And vigilance alone, nearly 3,000 staff. Number of outsourced contractual workforce is more than 17,000 today. So totally about 22 to 25,000 employees are employed, both permanent and contractual workforce alone. Okay, right. So this gives you the extension of that and the number of laddus, length of footpath, etc., etc. Some statistics, those who are interested. And right, this is the footpath, or rather the trekking way from Alipiri to Tirumala. And of course, there is also one more route from that's called Srivari Mettu. That is the shortest but steep steps. This is combination of both steps and plain area or slope areas. So it takes about 2 to 3 hours for normal people. And there are people who can even trek this entire stretch of about 9 kilometers in less than 2 hours also, or less than 1.5 hours also. Right. So there are a lot of resources that have been provided across this or along this footpath or rather trekking path. Right. So what are the management initiatives that this temple has taken? Luggage handling system. LHS stands for luggage handling. When you go from Tirupati to Tirumala, your luggage has been carried, including your sandals, will be carried by the temple authorities. And Tirupati Laddu is GI certified. I don't want to say anything more than that as on date, but there is a lot of history behind this. And the induction of female tansurers, as you are aware, that it is the place where in the entire world, this is the only place, a public place like temples, that there is a female tansurer separate for female and children, infant or children, female children, devotees. And the racialization of laddu prices. This is any in Tirumala temple, including price change, etc., is a big news. So it is not easy to take decisions here, but there also a lot of decisions have been negotiated and implemented. One of them is the Laddu price. Today, everyone, those who take darshan, it's like you go to Balaji to see him. He will give you a return gift like one laddu free. One laddu free for every pilgrim, those who take the darshan. So that has been given, including that, and people can buy any number of laddus at the counter today. So those kind of things also been done, and I must share honestly with you, this is also one of the outcomes of our procedure or consultancy project that we have done for the Balaji Temple on procurement process improvement. So I am Bangalore professor, my guru Mahadevan, who has had a session yesterday with all of you. So that is also been done by me and my guru, Professor Mahadevan. And the technology, particularly ICT or information technology deployment, is one of the oldest in the public sector or this kind of organizations, where you could see in 90s itself, there is a digital technologies that have been implemented, a lot of welfare schemes, social activities, and temple construction. Temples being constructed in number of places, including Hyderabad, Vizag, and other places, Jammu, Delhi, and you name it, including Kanyakumari, and so many other places as part of their agenda. And health and hygiene is beautifully managed. As you could see, nearly 3,000 people round the clock is deployed to maintain health and hygiene. You will not find such a hygienic place anywhere else. You could even see it is as good as, even better than the airports, I would say. And a lot of green practices, and including banning of plastic. It is the temple where the plastic bottles, water bottles, etc. have been banned. As you are aware that the ban is good for business or bad for business. It has proved, everybody was thinking that their business volumes or business will get affected. The reason is, the reality is other way around. Now people started buying more, consuming more, because due to ban of plastic, the product cost has gone down. Please note, this is a very wonderful empirical evidence. Due to green practices, banning of plastic has resulted in huge sales of non-plastic products, or the same product in non-plastic thing. For example, cool drink. For example, water. Now, water bottle, earlier it was costing 20 rupees, and today you can take a same bottle for much less than that. You can return the bottle. So the cost is actually the bottle and logistics. So that has been reduced. And you could see that, as a result of this, these beverage companies, they started bottling this in the bottles, replacing the PET bottles, and the cost has become half of it, and the rural markets have picked up like anything. How many of you are aware of this? How many of you are aware how many water bottles have been sold in the temple per a day? That itself is a big problem for at least operations management people. In my exam question paper, out of 3 questions that I give in the exam, 2 questions will be from this same example, same temple context. For example, footfall of pilgrims post-fasting, or laddu manufacturing, laddu making as the aggregate planning problem. So I can share my question paper also. My students will come back and tell me, oh, this is a very interesting question. They enjoy the 3-hour exam, including my exam is enjoyable exam. I make as to the extent possible how to make these things enjoyable in the class. I must tell you honestly, I am also known for my Tirupati temple example in my in IAM system, right? And on the side, solar and wind energy very drastically been replaced with thermal power and etc. So these are some of the initiatives that have been done very, very successfully for a long time. These are all not happening now. It is all happening for a long time. Right. I'll now spend a few minutes on luggage handling system. Then we'll come to closer to the session, and then I'll take up a few questions. So you could see, though it is started in early 80s, but over a period of time, this has been outsourced to third party, and third party has been using a lot of digital technologies, etc., etc. You can see these barcoded things, all color-coded cards, etc. Is there anyone who has got this experience of handing over your luggage anywhere, right from the bottom of the hill or foothills to top hill, as well as within the premises of Tirumala? you are not allowed to take anything, including your mobile phone or any other belongings. You have to deposit, and you deposit wherever you are, and there is a collection point at every entry point. At every entry point, there is a collection of your belongings, including your mobile phone or laptop or any electronic such gadgets which is not allowed inside, except the person, and maybe even children belongings are also not allowed, except child milk or something like that, and of course ladies bag. Of course, that you should not contain any electronic devices and so on and so forth. So you have to deposit. There is a wonderful digital system in place. So that's what I want to say. This is the process flow that is happening. So we use this also logistics in service organization as my conference paper, as well as I use this as a case study in my class. So that's what we do. Of course, the motivation for me to do all these things is Professor Ravichandran from IIM Ahmedabad. I would say this is the only study I can say, to the best of my knowledge, that where 3 IIMs involved on the inputs of all the studies conducted by all these 3 IIMs, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Lucknow. ABL is involved in this kind of things and recommendations at time to time. Right. So I'll just skip these things, what I do as part of the course in the class, what is the objective of this learning system. And these are some of the questions. Since there are a few teachers or maybe many teachers in the class, that's why I want to include, I included these questions. How do you analyze this case in terms of sensible questions? And this gives you some idea about the number of bags handled at a number of locations. There are 11 locations where this luggage has been collected. Not only luggage, any belongings, including your mobile phone. It's a typical number of September, October. That is the time where the Brahmotsav was time. That was the peak. As you could see, that in the month of September 2000, I think it is 2021 or so. I think 2021 or some other year, that I don't remember the exact year, but before COVID. These numbers are before COVID. As you can see, like 9,91,000. There's almost 10 lakh items have been handled in 1 month. 10 lakh. And in the month of October, it has exceeded 11 point or close to 11.1 or 11.4 lakh kind of things have been handled. Is it a small thing? And the locations include footpath, Kalyanakatta, and all entry points to the main temple. This itself is a massive exercise. The collecting is not a problem for the temple authorities. Let me tell you that unclaimed items, like in airport, you will find a lot of people forgetting their items, lost and found kind of thing. Here also, a lot of people who miss to collect their belongings, they're all lying, and disposing them is a big thing for big exercise for the temple authorities, right? So some graphs, since the data has been captured, and I put it into the monthly kind of thing. Yeah, it is 2019. This is the pilgrims flow. As you can see, now there is a place, it exceeded 1 lakh. It is 1,05,000 people on a particular day. It is 2019 and September on a particular day. You can see this, September, and followed by October time frame, right? So this is the location-wise distribution of bags. How many of us can understand this, that based on the timing and 24-hour duration, that these bags handled is very high between, let us say, 8 and 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, which is true for September and August. This is what you could see, the volume of bags handled at a percentage of bags handled at each location. The lowest is Kalyanakatta area. This gives you some idea about how to allocate the resources suitably, including safeguarding all the belongings. That is very important. It's not like airport or etc., where you come with standard containers or briefcases and so on and so forth. Here, people can bring anything in any format. Even open bags are being accepted because there is no other choice. So these are the challenges, right? So resource deployment in this case was a very big issue. The luggage collection centers, the storage facilities. What is the capacity of the storage facility that you want to keep? It is a very big problem. And transport vehicles and their schedule and delivery counters. And, you could see these QR codes and so on and so forth. And the CCTV cameras have been kept everywhere to avoid any let us say, tipping or any malpractices and so on and so forth. As you could see, that this is a very sensitive area. Even anybody accepting any type of tips or incentives is not allowed. So how to decide how many number of steel boxes? This is a big inventory problem. The point number eight, number of steel boxes, number of canvas bags, number of QR code cards, number of ESI tags, manpower category wise. All these resources in quantities are estimating them and keeping them adequately is a big issue for the temple. So this luggage handling alone is a biggest problem for someone like us as academicians or even otherwise to design the system. These are all working. I'm not talking about theoretical thing. These are all happening every day, as you could see. You go and when you go next time, you please see that. That is the luggage. Now coming to darshan. How many of you have visited several years back and now? And this is what you could see. The entry and exit at one point in time on the same side. Huge queues that are happening. Over a period of time, this has changed. Entry in one place and exit on other side. Now, if you go and see the third phase, or currently what is happening is there is a slope. It's like any other place. The innermost line is the lowest, the next is a little higher, and the third line is the top. It is like a ground. It is like a ground. Here you have a track. One track is slightly lower than the other track, so that the visibility becomes easy. The person before you should be, it's like an auditorium format, but slope. Then you go next time, please observe this. That is how now the more than 1 lakh people can be managed for a darshan in a day. Earlier, 50 to 60,000 itself was big difficulty, and it is a very simple. You make a lane, impose a discipline here. Is like a traffic discipline. It is like a traffic discipline. You cannot change the track. So instead, they are saying that you put a barricade, and people go in this. The only simple thing is simplify the flow and make people to follow the discipline. That's all. And that is what is happening today inside the temple. Now you have this GI certified laddu also, right? The other administrative reforms that are happened over the years, there are a lot of such kind of things. As you can see, this is the right side of the information is from the paper that I published in 2017. I think even before that, 2016, 15, 16. Yes, there are a lot of reforms started from 1930s, Madras Act, then 56 Act, 60s, 70s, 80s, 87, 1987 Act of Andhra Pradesh was the major change that has happened. That was the period where the PVRK Prasad, IAS officer, who was responsible for all the reforms, latest reforms. That's what is happening today. Earlier, the temple premises was completely cluttered, and today it is completely different. Whatever you could see, including the removal of some of the things, and which much before than that has happened before that. Okay, and even 20s, there was a change that has happened. The 20s, there is a change that has happened. Yes. So what I want to convey here is there are a lot of administrative reforms, minor, major, and significant ones that has happened over a period of time. Now, so the next 2-3 minutes, I will try to close. Right. There are a lot of transformational changes that are happening, managing darshans, physical queue to actual queue, virtual queue. Sorry, it is not actual, it is virtual. Physical queue to virtual queue. Virtual queue, and including 24/7 voice of customer happening. There are a number of charitable trusts. One of them, recently you might have seen, 10,000 rupees ticket, VIP ticket you can buy and go. That is what is a Srivani. That funds have been used for constructing temples across the country. And I don't want to get into anything else. There are a lot of such things, Annaprasadam scheme, trust, and Goshala, health, education, hospitals. All those things are also available. And there are some of them are 50% tax exempted. So health one is 100% tax exempted. I am also one of the donors in some of them to the extent possible. And those of you who want to donate, you look at the trust and then donate to those important trust. And that is how this Annaprasadam is being managed. Annaprasadam trust is the richest in terms of the number of people contributed and the quantum of funds. And Goshala is also Goshala, and pricing of laddus is another, and inducting of women tansurats. These are all the great decisions that are taken place there. And laddu production, practical decisions, as I told you, at one point in time, early 15-16, 2015-16 time frame, is laddu production was very low. So some of our recommendations are also implemented where the automation has also happened, and a lot of production has increased. As a result of that, today you could see the multiple laddus, even 4, 5, up to 10 also you can buy across the counter. Earlier it was not the case. And the transportation, like for example, APSRTC and Tirupati temple, there was a clash, and then it was been outsourced. And the purchase of land in Hyderabad, there were some land banks available. Even Balaji was not spared in terms of land, encroachments, or then you can say people occupying the temple lands and so on and so forth. There are a lot of legal issues also, and VIP break darshans, a lot of changes that have happened over a period of time for VIP break darshans and so on and so forth. Those are some of the things that we could learn. And of course, what are the management lessons for us is a ever-changing organization. It is a queue management or laddu production, pricing, etc., and including some of the other changes like infrastructure building and so on and so forth, and informal fostering of creativity and change management, and manage the large volume of operations, and best practices related to balancing the multiple stakeholders, including voice of customer and several other things. And there are a lot of constraints as well as the opportunities. So the job of EO, that is the IAS officer, is a very big challenge, how to make the balance of these things. And the best practices in funds management is another area where you can look at it. And piloting and managing organizational transformation. This is what we said, that it looks like very simple from outside. When you go deep into the system and processes, etc., we felt that it is not an ordinary temple. So that's why we named the title of this book also, Managing Social Organization, Lessons from World's Largest Pilgrimage Center. That is the title of our book. So now I hope you are convinced the title of the book, or otherwise the kind of scope of activities that they are doing, and experience in managing multiple verticals with ordinary administrative or managerial resources. That is the crux. That is the crux. Okay. So the lessons that we could draw is public accountability and transparency, as you can see today, and a framework for prioritizing activities, pilgrims, amenities, housekeeping, cultural, charity, social, health, education. My God, you name anything that is happening. And excellence in managing large-scale operations. Every day, more than 2 lakh servings of food is happening today. And if you manage more than 1 lakh darshans, only people who take the darshan is more than 1 lakh. And there are people who are waiting for the darshan. That is the big pain. You cannot avoid the waiting, but make the waiting comfortable. That is where you could see a lot of that waiting halls and so on. So the large waiting halls, you will not find such a waiting halls anywhere in the world. Yes. And transportations, as you could see, luggage transport technology, luggage handling, accommodation, housekeeping, parka money. Parka money is the another area where huge responsibility, taking the accountability of large collections or these resources. And lessons in managing social harmony and peace is a great excellence example. Excellence in subcontracting, purchase, and e-auctions. Can you guess how much would be the revenue from human hair that has been offered to Lord Balaji as religious vow? Earlier, without auctions, there was 30 to 40, 50 crores that was happening per annum. And today, per day is 1 crore. Is almost 250 crores to 300 crores per annum is coming just by auctioning that. And let me tell you, the auction of used rice, auction of even many other things that has been auctioned, reverse auction. They buy everything through e-procurement, and they also sell through digital platforms. Adaptation of digital technology, one of the highest among any other organization that you can compare, right? So to conclude, the public accountability and transparency is a very important thing. The framework for prioritizing activities, and you name pilgrim services and managing social harmony, etc., and adoption of digital technologies and transformation from religious organization to social organization is truly, according to I'm not going to prove this or trying to prove anything, that this is not a simple religious organization anymore, but it has transformed itself into a great social organization. With this, I'll stop with this last slide, that we got very wonderful comments by some of the experts who are associated with this temple. One of them is happened to be the executive officer, one Dr. I.V. Subbarao, and there are others, Sridhar from Akshay Patra CEO, and Raghuram, who was the IIM Bangalore director, and Deepak Parekh, HDFC Bank, and Pardeep Kandawala, the IIM Ahmedabad former director, and of course Raghuram, also former director of IIM Bangalore, IIT Madras director, and R. Gopalakrishnan is another very prolific author and a famous person. These are some of the people who have commented about this book. They gave their price for the book, and we have put a very short version on the back cover, but the detailed one is available inside the book. So, my dear friends, this is what we have, and let me stop here. So, with a great, humility and every dedication, I dedicate everything that we did in the name of this book to the lotus feet of the great these Lord Vishnu and Lord Balaji. I am not able to stop my tears from my eyes. Let me tell you one last thing. Writing this book and associating with this great organization has made me completely different person, both in professional as well as in personal life. This is a complete transformation. I can say I can feel every time when I talk about this. So with this, I'll stop here. I'll entertain a few questions the next few minutes. Another 5 minutes we can still spare. Dr. Bhavyaji, do you agree? Bhagya. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So myself, Dharani, and it was Bhagya ma'am who had contacted you. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. That was a wonderful session on temple management.
There is no doubt.
Especially
There is no doubt.
Focusing on Tirupati temple, where everyone is attached emotionally.
No, I have done so many things, but today is really very, very unique. Lord Balaji's Brahmoch was just started, Dwajarohan. I just took the darshan of the Dwajarohan from the TV, and I am starting this. I am not able to, observe this happiness and the emotion at this point in time. I don't know why and how.
I understand. When we are attached very much emotionally, I understand. So this is how it happens.
I must also say this is all because of my association with my good teachers. My sincere thanks to my professors, Professor Mahadevan, who has just taken voluntary retirement from IIM Bangalore. You know him. You interacted with him yesterday. And you have seen him. It is all because of my gurus. Not only the God also have to come through gurus. I take it as Lord Balaji has given me this opportunity through all of them. And Professor Ravichandran, for that matter, we continue to do, but we have to translate all these things into much more better usable resources for the academic community as well as others. That's our ambition, next goal. Yeah. I'll stop here, and then I want to see some of the questions, if there is any, that I can answer.
I'll just check out, and some of them have asked for the details of the book to buy, sir. So
this book is not available on Amazon. Otherwise, it was available on Amazon. There are some, the structural corrections that are required. That's why I don't want to spoil our name by selling this, allowing this book to be sold openly. And we are trying to revise this with all those corrections incorporated. Hope it will very soon. It will come back for public.
Yes, sir, there is a question from P. Srinivas. So what are the initiatives that are being taken up for spiritual well-being of pilgrims apart from systemic improvement by
Wonderful question. See, if you see that, the spiritual quotient or spiritual, when you go to temple, what you want to see, what you want to know, this has been done not now, long time back, a huge screen TVs in the waiting halls, narrating the stories, narrating the movies, and videos are the wonderful tools. they have been done with that. And of course, nowadays also the continuous chanting of the Lord Balaji's names and the prayers, what is happening, etc., etc. That is one. And also there is another organization called Sweta, Sri Venkateshwara Employees Training Academy. There, a lot of people come from outside as well as inside to train the people who are managing these, including volunteers. There is called, there is a specific name for that, volunteers. There are a lot of volunteers who are managing the queues, etc. You will not see now people throwing you ridiculously. They have been trained how to handle. They are not the ordinary people. They are the devotees in front of God. So these are the areas where a lot of such things have been done for spiritual, rather, I would say, experience. It is not an organized organization. Your experience matters a lot. Tirupati Temple also has done a lot of interventions to improve that from all sides. They also instruct the pilgrims what to do, what not to do, how to behave. Earlier, there are a lot of fights inside the queue lines. I have literally seen big fights inside the queue lines. It was a big pain for the police to handle them. Yes. Yeah. Any other?
Yes, sir. Sir, there is one startup, that is Startup Sanatana, where they're asking you like how they can collaborate with TTD management. I think they can reach out.
This is very difficult. I tell you, for me itself, from the academic institution, it became very difficult. But somehow God is great. We could do. But I don't know. The honest answer is I don't know. A lot of people want to associate because of several reasons, but they are it's very difficult for them. There are organizations who are participating as and when there are requests for such services.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I would say that
you have to keep on looking for opportunity. Lord Balaji will give one day. That is the only answer I can give. Yes.
that is absolutely true, sir.
I must also tell you one more.
Concur with that.
TCS has deployed a lot of engineers, more than 200 engineers who worked long years to develop all the information systems or technology, etc., including digitization of everything. Thanks to them, all of them happened at free of cost. 200 plus engineers for several years. They have automated everything, digitized everything. They are the people behind this digitization. You can imagine, nobody else could enter. And they have done everything on tender basis. Everything is tender. Only tender is the way to participate. Yes. Otherwise, all startups will be there in Tirupati only. Forget about startups, everybody else also. Yeah. Yes.
Yes, sir.
I could see some of the things. Thank you.
Thank you. There are many thank you messages from the participants. Yes, sir.
Right. One question. Can we give similar treatment to everyone who are coming for darshan? Why some important people, that is VIP personalities, will get a different access than others? Can temple management will resolve these issues? Let me tell you. See, my time versus my director time, is it same? Please, being academicians, being rational people should understand. If you are being given a VIP treatment, will you say no?
Questions.
One. Number two, not everybody's time is same. Everybody has the same time, but the value of the time is not the same. Can you make an IAS officer to stand in the normal queue? He's a public servant. He's a public servant. We can talk for not for hours, but months also. There is nothing wrong in giving. According to me, it is nothing wrong in giving. This is my personal opinion. Please let me tell you. Everywhere there is a VIP. Everywhere. When you go to a restaurant, there is a Self-service? There is ordinary service? You tell me where there is no segmentation. And let me talk language of management. Segmentation. What is segmentation? It is precisely segmentation. Why do you do the segmentation? Because they are not generated. This is not done for revenue maximization. Please note, Tirupati Balaji temple is not working for maximizing profit. That is my answer. Yes. Any authentic information why Lord Venkateshwara is also called Balaji? Okay, this I don't have any authentic information, but we have. Let's say my name is Venkataramanaiah, as per record. In North India, people call me Venkat. In my hometown or home village or my close friends, they call me Ramanaiah. I have 3 names. I myself have 3 names. Why Balaji is, he can be called by anybody, any name. Omnipresent, how many names? Infinite number of names.
I said there are 2 major questions.
There is no, at least to the best of my knowledge, I have not come across why now Venkateshwara is also called as Balaji. I have no idea, honestly.
Sir, there are 2 major questions. One is from Dr. Satvik. Service management at temple is crucial and spirituality is linked with it. How to deliver services without affecting quality and sentiments of devotees? So what are the major challenges that are involved in services delivery at managing temple?
Wonderful. I'll give a quick answer of people, process, technology. Everywhere. This is my PPT. People, process, technology. Technology can be more democratic than people. Do you agree? But the technology cannot drive the people. People should drive the technology. That's what you could see. Very easily implementable technological solutions have been implemented. And the people who are handling, wherever there is a people intervention that is required, it has been made and those people have been trained enough. They are treating you today with the dignity. That is what I mean experience. When you go to a star hotel, the way they treat you. And today, that's what people say. You are a guest at God's place. You are a guest at God's place. Nothing less than that. You are a guest at my home. You are a guest at Lord Balaji. You are a guest of Lord Balaji. Nothing less. The people have been transformed, changed. You won't talk to the people. Amount of training is being provided. You may be feeling little bit annoyed, but as you go over the years, you will see how many changes that are happening, how well those changes have been managed, how you have been treated. Let me tell you, this is the most democratic organization I have ever seen. A lot of things happens in a very seamless way, but you have to go in a planned way. Still, 20% of the pilgrims or more than 20% of the pilgrims go without plan. Without plan. All these planned, scheduled darshans, etc. is less than 80%. More than 20% goes without any scheduled visit. If 2 people go to a doctor without appointment, can doctor see them? Look at that.
So one last question we can take up. Are there any initiatives like increasing access to learning basics of Hindu philosophy or even coming down by spending time in the Tirumala natural environment?
Excellent question.
Will Hindu management make a difference when compared to a secular management? That's a question by Dr. G.P. Sudhakar.
Sure. I'll not talk about the religious related issues, but I can touch upon what is happening here. There is a lot of activities that are promoting this culture and Hindu Dharma Prachar Parishad. There are within the temple, outside the temple, across the multiple locations of the society. This is at the country level. Those activities are happening, but including Goshala and some of the activities connecting people with the Goshala practices and the reading of this. And TV was a biggest enabler. SV Bhakti channel, SVBC. Those of you want to see what is happening and how to protect these things or how to make people aware what is happening at Tirumala temple. Now it is the best time for all of us to see and watch what is happening in Tirumala temple on a every day basis and every minute basis. Dedicated the Tirumala temple owned. There is a company inside the temple, SV Bhakti Channel, SVBC, is having two transponders on their own, very high capacity, high resolution, satellite TV. Through TV, through non-TV, including physical, dedicated facilities, there is something called everyday Nada Nirajanam, and there is a auditorium kind of setup just outside the temple. There lot of such activities happens. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Sir, one last question. Can sustainable development goals can be linked to temple management?
Absolutely. That's what I said. Sustainable development goals, precisely the waste management. I didn't touch upon that. Per day, 100 tons of waste is generated in Tirumala temple alone. The way that is being treated, that is the reason why they stopped these plastic, including plastic bags. The plastic bags that is being used today in the temple is the biodegradable plastic, which is developed under DRDO research technologies that has been implemented in the recent past. And prior to that, though it is called as biodegradable plastic, but I am not very sure how much degradable. And today what you are using is a biodegradable, and there is the cloth line, the cloth bags are being used. And one such example that I have discussed in the class has translated into Jute Corporation of India, JCI. That CEO today is our IIM Lucknow student. I discussed this problem in the class, and he went and became the CEO of the Jute Corporation. One of such projects that he has done is a jute carry bag for laddu carrying. When you go next time, you will see 3 types of bags: biodegradable plastic bag, and a cotton bag, and another bag with the jute with the inner layer of aluminum foil. And the renewable energy sources, solar power, wind power, windmills you could see, and recycled water. I think this is the best they can contest in sustainable development goals, and they can win number of awards. Yes.
Yes, sir. So that's the end of the question, sir. So thank you so much for giving so much of insights on how temple management is being done at Tirupati. And it was really a wonderful session to hear. Sudhakar, sir, would you like to add
I want to add one point. I just want to add one point. In fact, I have, my alma mater, NIT Calicut, I even submitted a course proposal, a course outline for an elective course on managing social organizations, along with this book and the book on the Indian knowledge systems. I think the ground is very, very fertile today for making this as the mainstream learning across India for many things. And in fact, let me also share, in the recent, the last April, just this April, there was a conference at Palms conference in US, and the person from US has taken my presentation picture at that value chain photograph, and he has listed in posted in LinkedIn. I have reshared what he has posted. Instead of me posting it, for them it has become a big thing than me. So that's how things are happening.
Very nice to hear, sir. Sudhakar, sir, would you like to add?
No, thank you, Professor. It was a wonderful session. Really enjoyed it. As far as your course is concerned, at CES, one of the initiatives we have is an online repository of all similar content. So if you can make a curriculum or a syllabus for a course, then if it is put up there, automatically get shared to a lot of the universities who are interested in Bharatiya management. So I would welcome.
Now with your suggestion, I will feel like launching it as a Coursera course for free for everybody.
Yeah, we can do it in Swayam, as well as it can be offered. The curriculum, if it is offered, sir, automatically there are many faculty members who might want to take it up in their universities.
Absolutely.
So thank you again, sir. Wonderful connecting with you, and it was a wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudhakar. Thank you, Dr. Sudhakar.
Sir, thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Sudhakar, sir, thank you very much. And dear participants, thank you very much for joining us for both the sessions and being there with us till the end of the sessions. And thank you, ICFI Foundation for Higher Education, Hyderabad, and Ramaiah Institute of Management, Bengaluru, for collaborating with us for these wonderful sessions during Navaratri. Thank you, all of you. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you once again, and happy Dashara for all of you. Navaratra time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.